I think it's pretty obvious we know plug power is gonna keep going up. It's gonna happen. Hey everyone, thanks for clicking on the video. We're talking about plug power. Now, I talk about plug power quite a bit. I have been in plug power for quite a while, so I know a thing or two about plug power. And plug power is not a company that is only in the United States, but they are heavily involved in Europe too. So I want to say that because a lot of people think this is just a company that's based in the United States. They are actually pretty well known in Europe too. But the European market with plug power, a lot of their bread and butter does come from their gen drive, that sector. So we're going to talk about this broad view of what we see with plug power and why are we paying so much for a share price. So first things first, the quarterlies came out with plug power and they weren't terrible, but they weren't where they needed to be and where they were expected to be. But plug power is still going up. It's still doing very well. It hasn't plummeted. It's actually, it's going up even more. So if you're new to plug power, the stock alone, this is not, an underrated stock anymore. This is not a $3, $4, $2 stock as a lot of people were buying it just a little over a year ago at that price. I know I was buying a lot of this. This used to be a stock that you got as a promotion or a gift or something when you sent somebody, a friend request on Robinhood, or you got on Robinhood, you would get this. A lot of people got I got one. This is one of the first stocks I ever received, years ago when I got on Robinhood when I opened up an account. But now this is a major game changer stock for a lot of people. And, the futuristic outlook of what plug power is, as of right now, they're one of the biggest hydrogen companies out there. And it's going to continue that way, it seems to be. Not only are they doing their bread and butter with their gen drive they have for most warehouses that operate in and out of packaging, but they're also getting into the EV market here in the future. So that's going to be, and that's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother thing. But the weird thing and the funny thing about plug power is that every time there's an article, there's a review written on it from these analysts, these people that write these articles that you read about, and most of the time they're negative about companies. Well, plug power is one of those, weird situations where a lot of these analysts, they're saying, plug power should be sitting around a $45 mark. There's one analyst that is saying that it should be at a $70 mark. Now, is plug power with their price range, what they're bringing in quarterly, what they're doing financially, should it be that high? No, it should not. So why are you paying so much for a share price on plug power? The reason is because you have got to look in the future of what plug power is going to be. And that's what people look at. A lot of people that are smart investors, they're not looking at plug power, a year from now. They're looking at plug power from like 5 to 10 years from now, what this could be. People are looking at plug power for the projections for the next 5 to 10 years. Being in the EV market, being one of the biggest hydrogen makers in the world. And we know when the EV market really gets going, and we have not seen the EV market really take off. I mean, it's pretty hot right now, but it's going to get even hotter. And a lot of companies are not only making electric cars, but they are making hydrogen cars. And I'm just throwing hydrogen cars in the EV market because that just makes it easier. But you know what I'm saying here. So personally, when I look at plug and I'm looking at $30 a share, I think that's really cheap. Honestly, I am one of these people that I believe plug power will be well over $100 stock within the next year or two if it continues to do what it does. And this whole electric green situation gets even stronger and gets pushed even more by the Democrat Party. But this is not a video where I'm talking politics. This is a video where we have to, as investors, we have to look at what does the next 4 years look like for us? What we have to do. When we know our leaders are looking at something, whether it be cannabis, whether it be tech, whether it be medical, and the EV market, the green sector, we know that they are really pushing that. So you wouldn't be a smart investor if you really didn't focus on that, especially while things are still relatively cheap right now. So that's why you're paying $30 a share for plug power right now, what it's going to be in the next year or two. Now, talking about financials with plug power. So plug power recorded a greater than expected loss in the first quarter. Revenues surged 76% year over year to $72 million. However, it missed the consensus estimated of $76.87 million. The company shipped 1,308 gen drive units in Q1, up 58.5% from the year ago. So that Gen Drive unit, that is Plug Power's baby. That is one of their bread and butter machines. That is what they send out to warehouses, businesses that have to, you know, move equipment. This is what you see a lot in warehouses, and it is a hydrogen fuel lead system unit, whatever you want to say. So these are things that they ship, you know, all over the world. And then gross billings of 73.7 million increased 71% year over year. And then Plug Power added this. The company said that the quarterly results were impacted by the Texas freeze in February, which led to a spike in natural gas prices, causing hydrogen prices to increase. Moreover, high freight costs due to global COVID-19 impact on the ports and transit providers also impacted margins and profits of the company. So obviously we know that's going to be said every company, every Q1, every Q2 results that we have seen this year so far from every company have said that, so that, you know, that's pretty much, that's in everyone's bio right now. Every company's bio is saying that, almost every company. So friends, looking at this chart right now with Plug Power, this is honestly, you know, even though Plug Power hit this mark, you know, the $70 mark just a little while ago, and then we had this plummet back down to, you know, the $20 range here, you know, honestly, Plug Power going back up to this 30 bid price on this is still very well. We're still in a very good range. And honestly, you know, as things start to clear up here, as the world comes back together, you know, things are starting to look normal again. They're starting to smell normal. They're starting to taste normal. We're starting to see normal things happen again, and we're starting to see bigger days and better days in the stock market. Because actually, you know, I don't want to say this too loud, but you know, we've had some pretty good weeks here in the stock market. You know, I don't want to say anything where it's like, you know, I don't want to jinx everybody here, but we've had some pretty good days here lately. So, you know, with that being said, I think we might see a lot of growth stocks, and I would say Plug Power is absolutely a growth stock in that. And we're going to start to see it have healthier days here, you know, and if it went up to $40 here in the next month or two, honestly, I would not be shocked at all. So personally, me, I am holding Plug Power probably forever. This is not something that I'm going to sell out of anytime soon. I'm looking, you know, 10 years into the future, what this could be and what the potential of what this is bringing to the table for investors just in years to come with technology, the green sector, everything we're going to see in the next 5 to 10 years with just human evolution into tech and everything that's coming with green energy. So very excited about Plug Power. If you are in Plug Power, you know, I personally, I would hold it. I would hold it. If you're buying Plug Power around $30, $40, anywhere under $30, you know, I think that's a heck of a deal, because personally, I'll go ahead and say this right now. I think in the next year or two, this is going to be probably a $50 to $70 stock easily. I'm really thinking $100 stock, but you know, just to be safe there, 50 to 70 easy, as we continue to see bigger and better things come out with Plug Power, especially when they get into the hydrogen fuel cell market with vehicles, making them and selling them. So if you're in Plug Power for a short run, this may not be the thing for you if you don't have the patience for it, and that's absolutely fine. You know, this may not be something you want to sit in for the next, you know, 5 to 10 years. But if you're here for the long run and you really want something kind of as a retirement fund, you know, Plug Power would be definitely one of those stocks I look at. This is a serious company. This is a serious stock, and this is a stock that's definitely something you definitely want to look in having in your portfolio for the long run. But friends, with all that said, remember, be positive, be you. I hope this video was helpful, was encouraging, it brought you some news and thinking outside the box and thinking into the future of what we're going to see, the green energy thing we keep hearing about that's going to happen sometime here. So friends, I will talk to you soon. Bye bye.